In the depths of the water, many artifacts and even entire submerged cities are hidden from our eyes. In this video, I invite you to learn about the most amazing finds discovered in swamps, rivers and lakes. Number 1. In 2022, a 78-year-old resident of the island of Bohol in the Philippines went for a walk in the forest. When he did not return home by nightfall, his family became alarmed and he contacted the police. The search for the missing man began the next day. On the first day, the searchers found a steamed bun. The old man's relatives reported that he had taken some of those breads on his trip. On the second day, a place was discovered where someone had cooked rice, and again half of one of those breads was found. On the third day, one of the volunteers was checking a section of the forest near a river when he heard the sound of a crab's claws. He guessed that the hungry man might have gone to the river to catch crabs. As he left the forest, he realized that his assumption was correct. The old man was sitting on the rocks by the river. Grandfather was healthy and without any damage. The searchers took him home, where his loved ones were anxiously waiting for him. Number 2. When watching this video, you might think that the river water is colored red by video editing software, but it is actually a real river. About 100 kilometers from the Peruvian city of Cusco, the Palcoyo River flows, whose waters are a vibrant raspberry red color. This uniqueness attracts many tourists and is a distinctive natural attraction of Peru. The Palcoyo River takes on this unusual color only during the rainy season. At other times, its waters are quite murky and brown in color. With the onset of rains, the river not only changes its shade, but also becomes wider, deeper, and cleaner. So why does such an unusual phenomenon occur in the Palcoyo River? The reason is that the river originates in the Rainbow Mountains area of the Andes. These grounds, by the way, also look simply fantastic. Its colorful layers were formed millions of years ago from red sandstone that, under many factors, took on various colors. A significant amount of iron oxide from the Rainbow Mountains enters the Palcoyo River, giving it its red color. Number 3. A notable example of how animals can adapt to extreme conditions and survive is demonstrated by the alligators in the Natural Park in North Carolina. In 2018, the United States experienced a particularly cold winter, with their temperatures dropping to near record levels, causing many bodies of water to freeze. The wetlands of Shot River Swamp Park were no exception. The alligators that inhabited these swamps faced challenges, but found a way to endure the winter. Park staff witnessed a peculiar sight: the reptiles' snouts protruded from the ice-covered swamp. At first glance, it might appear that the ice had trapped the alligators and that they were trapped while trying to get out of the water and reach dry land. One of the park's employees posted photos of this phenomenon along with a video explaining the actual events to perplexed onlookers. It turns out that alligators employ a fascinating survival technique. To breathe, they stick their snouts out of the ice while their bodies enter a state of hibernation. The ice holds their bodies inactive and prevents them from sinking, so these reptiles only appear to be dead. With the arrival of warmer temperatures and the melting of the ice, they return to their normal lives. Number 4. People often accidentally drop their phones into water. When a smartphone falls into a deep body of water, there is almost no hope of finding and recovering it. But, as they say, nothing is impossible. This story occurred in the United Kingdom. A man named Owen Davis lost his iPhone while canoeing on the River Wye. Davis made a mistake and capsized the canoe, and his phone fell out of his pocket. He didn't even try to look for it. 10 months later, a resident of the city of Cinderford, Miguel Poe, accidentally found the lost phone at the bottom of the river. He took the iPhone out of the water, dried it, and tried to turn it on. Much to his surprise, it worked. He then posted a photo of his discovery on social media, hoping to locate the owner. By pure chance, Owen saw the post and recognized his phone. He contacted Miguel and recovered the device from him. Number 5. Imagine walking through a dense forest at night and suddenly seeing a doll sitting on a swing. Such a scene could be the beginning of a horror movie, but residents of the Australian town of Lucinda have had the fortune or misfortune to witness such a sight in person. Not far from the city, there is a forest and several swamps, and next to one of them, a doll is sitting on a swing suspended from a tree. When the wind blows, the swing swings as if a living child was playing on it. Although the doll's face appears harmless, the sight is quite disturbing. Despite the doll's childish and seemingly innocent appearance, local residents tend to keep their distance. The villagers believe that if anyone approaches the toy, it will defend its territory and cast a curse. From that moment on, the person would be condemned to suffer misfortunes and illnesses. Who placed the doll and for what purpose remains a mystery. Perhaps the person who set up this facility did so to attract tourists to the area. The town's mayor is skeptical about the people's fear of the doll. However, he, like other locals, is hesitant to approach her up close. Number 6. In 2019, a construction team stumbled upon an unexpected find while demolishing the chimney of an old inn, a bottle filled with the most unimaginable things: human teeth, glass shards, and an unidentified liquid that surely no one dared to touch. You might think this bottle is just someone's sick joke, but this horrible concoction is common across the European continent, with several finds in old buildings, cemeteries, and river banks. But what exactly are they and what is their purpose? Well, these are called witch bottles. As their name suggests, these objects have their roots in the world of folklore and protective magic. They were generally made of ceramic or glass and were believed to protect against malevolent witchcraft. Between the 16th and 17th centuries, most of Europe was dominated by fear of witches and the supernatural. Along with the spread of what people believed to be dark magic, the popularity of witch bottles increased. Fearing that they would soon fall victim to witches, many used empty bottles and all kinds of charms, including human hair, urine, nail clippings, thorns, and other sharp objects. As sinister as these objects may seem, the witch bottle is nothing more than a protective talisman intended to repel or trap malicious spells and negative energy. The belief was that by placing these objects inside the bottle and burying it near the entrance of your home or in fireplaces and chimneys, you would capture evil spirits, attracting them to the bottle and neutralizing their power. But today, witch bottles are nothing more than remnants left from a time when Europe was dominated by immense fear. So, if you live in Europe and suddenly discover this in your house, then you should know that its former owner probably just wanted to protect the house from evil spirits. Number 7. Here's another strange discovery involving human teeth, this time in Valdosta, Georgia. While renovating a building, a team of construction workers made a surprising find: nearly 1,000 human teeth. The teeth were found behind a wall on the second floor of the building, and workers were understandably unprepared for what they found. Authorities and workers were puzzled as to how these teeth ended up behind the building's walls. Is this just the collection of a madman? Not quite. After researching the history of the place, it was discovered that the room had been used as a dental office for almost 100 years, beginning with Dr. Clarence Whittington, a dentist who started his practice in 1900. The most curious thing is that when renovating other buildings, several teeth were also found nearby in its walls. It seemed that storing teeth on office walls was a common practice at that time. Today, when a tooth is extracted, it is considered medical waste and a specialized system is responsible for its safe disposal. But perhaps back then there were no regulated medical waste systems like there are today, and dentists had no choice but to dispose of extracted teeth by placing them in walls. It's a surprise to modern renovators or historians to find this unexpected dental collection, but authorities in Valdosta decided to go along with it and even challenged locals to guess how many teeth they found in exchange for $100. Number 8. Earlier this year, a Californian exterminator stumbled upon an unexpected treasure. This was not a precious artifact, but 700 pounds of acorns laboriously collected by a hard-working woodpecker. The problem is that this food warehouse was located within the walls of a house in California. The uncovered acorns were stacked for about 20 feet from the ground to the attic of the house, and you can only imagine how many acorns the woodpecker had collected. Unfortunately for the poor bird, the stash he had built up for months is now back to zero, as the exterminators collected the acorns and threw them away. If it weren't for the little worms crawling out of the walls of their home, the couple who lived there wouldn't have known the acorns were there in the first place. Creatures like woodpeckers, squirrels, mice, and other small animals in nature often prepare for the future, especially for the harsh winter season. This particular woodpecker drilled into the wood hoping to create a safe hiding place, but unfortunately chose the wrong spot. However, exterminators confirmed that the animal was safe. The bird needed to start looking for food again for the winter and, hopefully, found a better place to hide. Number 9. An extraordinary discovery was made by a local man who simply wanted to renovate his basement. What he found behind him was nothing short of astonishing, an entrance to a vast underground city stretching up to 18 stories deep and capable of housing up to 20,000 people. This underground complex is now known as the Dorinkui Underground City and, since its discovery, has been hailed as the largest community underground. Dorinkui is situated in the historic region of Cappadocia in central Turkey, known for its unique geological formations such as fairy chimneys and soft rock called tuff. Thanks to this rock, local inhabitants have created underground homes, warehouses, and temples for millennia. Dorinkui is the largest underground complex, with approximately 40 structures of at least 2 levels. Its exact origin remains a mystery, but it is believed to have been excavated by the Hittites around 2000 BC, or by the Phrygians in 700 BC. Additionally, it is thought that local Christians expanded the city in later centuries. Designed for defense, it features massive stone gates and defensive features. Between the 6th and 10th centuries AD, elements with Christian influence were added, indicating its use as a safe haven for Christians. The city had residential areas, storage, a dungeon, and spaces such as wine presses and small churches, including a cruciform one. Ventilated by more than 15,000 wells, it offered stable and moderate conditions, being a refuge from extreme weather and ideal for storing food. Number 10. In 2015, a couple from Jasper, Indiana, made an unexpected discovery. While planning renovations for a new bathroom and hiring a contractor to fix the wiring, Phil Matthews stumbled upon a hidden treasure in his attic: love letters from World War I. These letters, dated July 1918, were written by a World War I soldier named Clemens Berger to his beloved, Mary Burrow. Clemens, who was in service and training at West Point, Kentucky, expressed in his letters his fears about being sent to the front and the possibility of never seeing his or Mary's home again. Upon reading the letters, Phil and his wife felt the desire to return them to their rightful owners and discover what had happened to the lovers. With the help of the internet and others, they managed to contact Mary Munn and Nancy Tedder, nieces of Clemens and Mary. These nieces were excited and grateful for the discovery and preservation of this emotional family memory. They revealed that, indeed, Clemens and Mary had a happy ending. They married a year after the end of the First World War, in June 1919. Without a doubt, a strange but moving discovery. Number 11. Deep in the most remote forests of North America, a legendary creature hides. A being that has captured the imagination of generations. Bigfoot. The legend of Bigfoot has its roots in Native American cultures, where he is known by different names and descriptions. For some tribes, he is a protective figure; for others, a fearsome entity. These ancient stories tell of encounters with a tall being, covered in hair, who lives in the shadows of the forest and is rarely seen by humans. Over the years, there have been numerous Bigfoot sightings. One of the most famous occurred in 1967, when Roger Patterson and Bob Gimlin captured on video what many believe is the most convincing evidence of this creature's existence. The footage shows a furry being, walking upright, quickly moving away from the camera. This video has been analyzed, debunked, and defended countless times, but even today it remains a reference point in the Bigfoot debate. But what exactly is Bigfoot? Some believe it is a descendant of Gigantopithecus, a huge ape that lived millions of years ago. Others think it could be an undiscovered hominid species, a lost branch on the human evolutionary tree. These theories are based on the idea that the vast and largely unexplored territory of North America could be home to such a creature. The theories don't stop there. Some maintain that Bigfoot could be an interdimensional creature or even an alien. These more esoteric hypotheses suggest that Bigfoot could have the ability to move between dimensions, or that it is an entity sent by beings from other worlds. However, the lack of solid physical evidence, such as remains or bones, has led many scientists to be skeptical. The absence of tangible evidence causes the scientific community at large to dismiss the existence of Bigfoot as an urban legend or cultural phenomenon. Despite this, the search for Bigfoot continues. There are organizations and enthusiasts dedicated to finding conclusive evidence of its existence. Equipped with night vision cameras, audio recorders, and drones, these researchers scan the forests for signs of the mysterious creature. Expeditions are organized regularly, with teams of researchers spending days and nights in the wild, hoping to catch a glimpse of Bigfoot. Although many return with stories of strange sounds and unexplained footprints, definitive evidence remains elusive. Bigfoot is not only an American legend. Stories of similar creatures are found all over the world. In the Himalayas, there is talk of the Yeti, a similar being that lives in the cold and high mountains. In Australia, Aboriginal people tell stories of the Yowie, a similar-looking creature that prowls the forests. In Russia, the Almasty is a similar figure, with stories dating back centuries. This suggests that the myth of a large, hairy creature is universal and has endured across time and cultures. The fascination with Bigfoot has also influenced popular culture. Movies, television shows, books, and documentaries have explored the legend, providing a mix of fact, fiction, and speculation. The Bigfoot figure has been used in advertising, toys, and as a symbol of the search for the unknown. This cultural phenomenon has kept the legend alive and fostered a sense of mystery and adventure. Regardless of whether Bigfoot is real or not, his legend lives on. It represents mystery and fascination with the unknown, a reminder that there are still things in our world that escape our understanding. The idea that such a large creature could avoid detection for so long invites us to reflect on the vastness of our planet and the secrets it may still hold. And you, do you believe in Bigfoot? Or do you think it's just a myth, fueled by imagination and the desire to believe in the inexplicable? The next time you find yourself in a lonely forest, keep your eyes peeled. Maybe, just maybe, you could be the next to spot it. And in the meantime, the legend of Bigfoot will continue to inspire explorers, scientists, and dreamers alike.